telling the parents that the protests were being funded by the opposition. Now the opposition has joined the government. I don't know what is going to tell those members of Belgut, but those fools were clapping. Unfortunately, those fools are our parents. So we have to take a step to go and educate them and win them over by educating them the benefits of pushing the government and imagining the government as not doing us a favor, but delivering services based on the taxes that we pay on a regular basis. So those are my submissions. Na nasema tuendelee. Let's push this government. Let them know that we are the employers. We are building a future for ourselves as a millennial and for our future, for our children who are Gen Zs and maybe Gen Zs. Thank you very much. I'll keep holding. You can drop me from the speakers panel.
Thank you so much. Engineer, Web and Engineer, because it seems this is the direction we might be taking this morning. I will request that you remain. Others may be dropping because questions might come. I think, Kimuzi, that I feel that is what we can do so that whoever has questions can shoot the questions to them. Let's begin with Boniface. Boniface Gatua. Boniface.
Thank you, Daktari. Can you all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thank you, and thank you, Kimuzi, and all the listeners. Perhaps before I pose my question to Webb, I'll have this to say. First of all, tuendelee ama tusiendelee? That is not even a question, because it is either we go forward or we are doomed. Because as far as I know, and for what we've seen in the last, not just 2 years, since 1992 when Ruto came into politics, he will play into your tune, and we know he'll do that. For as long as we let him remain president, he'll apply all the diversionary tactics just to remain in power. And we need to be vigilant more than we've ever been. And secondly, I want to join Engineer in saying this. So long as our political seats are loopholes for business and scot-free theft, and we let these guys go away with all manner of bad manners and corruption, we'll remain in the same hole. We'll continue saying all the good ideas we have here. We'll continue bringing all these solutions, but they'll not go anywhere. And the way to make this progress, we need to make these political seats unattractive as possible. The political seats from MCA to president, they must be made unattractive. People must know that when they get to these offices, they're supposed to work for the people. And one way is reducing the salaries and benefits that these people have. There's no way that an MCA should be earning more than a teacher in public schools. So long as these guys go to sittings and they get sitting allowances for doing what we elected them to do, nothing is going to change. And we need to first of all effect that. And how do we effect this? We first of all need to get the right people in these offices. And one thing I even tell most people I talk to is when you give the devil a chance, you're just becoming the serpent. You're becoming the serpent and you're becoming his angel. These guys we are trying to negotiate and try to listen to, these are the same kleptocrats, thieves. The whole cabinet was made up of thieves. These are ICC inductees. The president himself was accused of murder and incitement. These are guys who are willing to kill just to remain in office. They are willing to kill all of us if they can. They are saying they will kill 5,000 people on the streets. These are the people we are saying we want to listen to. That's not possible. And eventually, the problem that we need to solve in this country is the problem of governance. Even in as much as we want to implement the solutions we were saying about blockchain, how sustainable are these solutions? If we don't have the right people in office, they are going to bring sabotage. For example, if you say we want to hold people accountable for the money they spend, how do we hold them accountable? How do we deal with corrupt people? We know China, for example, when you steal in China, you know you public enemy number one. You even face penalties such as death penalty, or you go to jail for the rest of your life. And the president needs to be clear. He has no capacity to tell us that he's a weak president. Why is it that when he wants to pass draconian taxes such as the housing bill, this affordable housing bill that he passed 2023, how is it that he can pass that, but he cannot pass a bill to fight corruption? he just does not have the goodwill to do what is right. And the drafters of the 2010 constitution, they recommended a parliamentary system where all power will rest in parliament. But now, since some people had individual and selfish interests, they sabotaged the whole process, and that's why we are in this hole. And I
Mhm.
dare say this, Dr. Ombati,
You
just
have a
1 minute
minute,
as I
brother.
finish. All
You have a
right.
minute, yes.
I dare say, even right now, as many people are suggesting, even if you put Omtata there with such representatives in the office, in the parliament, we are not going anywhere. And again, the problem of neocolonialism started very early in the LegCo with such leaders such as Jomo Kenyatta, who went, we were fighting the same problems you were saying, the health, illiteracy, and poverty. And the president right now is telling us about the AI revolution and digital revolution. We've not even industrialized our country. I'm an engineer myself, unemployed. I've never been employed. Let's let's settle and know the problem with Kenya is debt. There is not debt. It's not the revenue collection. It's the bad governance that we need to deal with. And the question I wanted to ask Webb and probably engineer was, how sustainable is this system that you are saying we are going to implement if we don't have the right people in leadership? Thank you for the opportunity, and I'll continue to listen.
Thank you. Web and engineer,
Yeah,
please hold on
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Don't respond to it. Then
Yes.
we'll be followed by Jesse Watanga. Right. In that order.
And one more thing, we request the mic. We don't want to be only men.
Yes, yes.
It
I have
looks
seen Memphis is
chauvinistic.
here. Wangari is here. We will bring
Okay,
more.
you'll give them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ago, since the Maandamano started, I support that without leaders, our system will fail. Because, I mean, computers are not meant to serve us, but we are meant to operate them in a way. So, how do we get good leaders? We first look at our legislatures, the MPs, the senators. I've always been asking this question: why should we have an MP paid 800,000 shillings per month? Then he attends sessions in parliament and they get sitting allowances. So I've always pondered the question in my head and I don't get answers. It's like saying you get a CEO of a company or a manager, you pay them quite well for that position. Then whenever they come to work, every time they get the sitting allowances for doing what you employ them to do. So we are the employers. We should seek the right channels to have these people make laws that will favor us. And how do we do that? So when the IBC is reconstituted, we will start by recalling MPs who are not serving our interest. After we recall MPs, we have people in the houses, in both houses, that are partyless. Because I don't see the need of having a president and or a government with majority in parliament. Parliament is supposed to be an independent institution, but having the majority that does the wills of the government. MPs, we have people, independent people in the houses. Then ask them or not ask them or not ask them, tell them, because we are the bosses, we put them in power, make laws, make amendments to laws that are favoring us. These things to do with acts of parliament. In fact, acts of parliament the world not to finya sana, because you will find positions like the prime CS are not in parliament. Things to do with the housing levy. CDF is not part of their mandate. Hakuna haja aseme that you elect me, I will give you bursary. If you elect me, I will ndatengeneza pale ka drainage kwa hii estate. 2013, 2020, 2012, and they have not, had extreme cases. Now the senators. So, guys, we start with the right people in power. We recall our these guys, and we put pressure. History, a conflict of interest bill in at the Senate. We put pressure for them to amend. Will come in power na watazifunga hizo systems, they will then play the systems, watajua tu how to just assume or ignore the systems. So we begin with the right people, then we go down and we see sisi wenye tuko chini, we are getting the benefits we deserve as a people of Kenya, as citizens of Kenya. Thank you for the time. That is my submission.
Thank you. Kimuzi, allow me clear some air. Legrand as that is me actually. If you allow, I can. Yeah, so I am the Dr. Ombati has mentioned. I was the CEC Health in Nyamira, a position I served from 2022 to 2023 when I was relieved of my duties. I don't know whether it was a miscommunication or whatever that was, but governor akasema kwamba nimeiba madao, and so I was relieved of my duties. So the MCS came to him asking him how kama nimeiba madao as a CEC where I was involved. The organization with whom 7 days. The governor requested the drugs to be brought in a single day. This didn't happen, and they wrote a letter citing the uprising that was happening that period, ile maandamano ilikuwa ya Raila, and it delayed the supply of the drugs. It didn't come within that period, but eventually the drugs were supplied. The governor did audit of the same, and eventually the audit that came out exonerated me or exonerated the Department of Health that drugs were lost. Number two, the letter of sacking that the governor wrote to me is not mentioning anything about drugs that were lost. The letter of sacking that was written to me is saying that I lied to him. I lied to him that the drugs were supposed to be supplied within a day, but they eventually went ahead to be supplied in 7 days. So that is where the issue was. But I don't want to discuss so much about it because I had to go to court, and my case is active in court. And he's one guy I've been calling out because I believe whatever that we were doing and whatever that I was doing as the CEC Health was putting things, whatever that I'm discussing, whoever who has worked with me will share the same sentiments. I'm one guy who's my life has been very open, and it's a period I served. Now, finally, for the drugs to be lost, there is a chain of command. Those people who have worked in the government know this. Kuna the procurement, who did the same. They procured, I don't pay as the CEC. The accounting officer, who's the chief officer, paid. The chief officer finance approved the money to be paid. So my role as the CEC was to oversee the running of the department. And that is what the MCAs kept asking the governor. Those of you who have been following what has been happening in Kenya, and especially in Nyamira, would bear me witness that there's a point the MCAs almost toppled the governor out of office. This happened because of my case. They were asking him tough questions. Why are you sacking Ombati and you are leaving the procurement officers, you are leaving the chief officers, you are leaving all these other people, the chain that was involved, that is involved in the procurement or in the supply of the drug. So there's hakuna dawa zilipotea, there was a miscommunication, there was a delay in supply, and the letter of sacking, which, of course, it's a personal thing, but it's also something that can be shared. Whoever who might want to know, or if
actually share, because what we know, integrity, what
yes,
defines a man is actually integrity, respect, honesty, trust, loyalty, and empathy. Because I just speak to pick randomly the speakers so that I can give everyone a chance to talk. And I just pick you randomly to co-host and speak, right? I didn't because
you're
I
right,
don't
you're
judge.
right.
Yeah, you remember, I don't judge. And to be fair, I don't want, because like granted DM me, I didn't see it, and he just told me about it. And to be fair, we have 7 speakers, and we don't know about your case. For me, I haven't ever been arrested. I don't have any court case, both home and here. I've never ever, like, I don't have any questionable trait or anything. And these other people, maybe they are like that, or I don't know. So maybe they
Yeah,
can take a
I
vote.
agree with you, Kimuzi. Neither have I been arrested, but I have a case that is ongoing in court because I'm the one who took the governor to court. Aware of what is happening.
Okay, if you share the letter, it will be really okay for what
I'm
you're
actually
sharing.
sharing it. I don't know how to share it, but I'll share it to you so that you can share it to the rest of the people.
You just click the tweet, then share on the space.
Oh, okay. All
Okay,
right, so we can go ahead.
Mebs or Mebs can talk. Then Jesse has really raised his hand for a very long time.
Community. And my issues are very simple, are concerning the county government. As you might well be aware, um, we had a report that Kimani Wamatangi has denied investors opportunity to invest, and I think this cuts across the whole country, especially in my home county, that is Seah County. We have to recognize Raila for his role in fighting for this, but they have started what they are doing right now. They want us to get off the streets, but I feel we have a very big problem, especially in Nyanza. So, what I'm doing towards this is I'm trying to mobilize youth, led by my president in KSL, that is Joshua Okau, that was abducted. So we want to mobilize youth, and if you are Gen Z and you're in Nairobi, because the cartels that are behind Raila Odinga and they are not working out. I saw Raila Odinga Jr. in the space. So please tell them there are legislators, especially in Nyanza, that have refused to work because